everybody, it's Nico, and welcome to Across the Airwaves. This is News with Nico. We got a great show for you today. On today's episode, I will be discussing the release of the first official trailer for Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter that hit the web this week. Smallville getting Season 11 in comic book form, and one of my Geek Crushes, Amy Acker, guest stars on not one, but both fairy tale shows this month. I also introduce a new rapid fire section to close out the show. Just a reminder, check out our weekly long form podcast entitled Across the Airwaves, available on iTunes, or visit us at acrosstheairwaves.com. Join the conversation on Twitter, Facebook, or email on your screen now, or if you want your pretty face on this show, leave a video response. Enough with the plugs. Let's start things off today with our first news article.
Let's go!
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, first trailer now available online. 20 seconds into the trailer, it's clear that 20th Century Fox wasn't kidding around when it bought the rights to Seth Grahame-Smith's Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. The 2010 mashup novel, an unlikely hit follow-up to Grahame-Smith's absurd Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, is an epic mixing of history, fable, and fantasy. Honest Abe is born into an era of vampires. During a time of mass immigration, many vampires are being flushed out of Europe. Lincoln's grandfather was killed by a vampire, and his mother was the victim of the poisons of vampire blood. And Honest Abe vows to rid the world of every last vampire on his quest for revenge. When he's elected president, he leads the charge into the Civil War as a means of averting systematic takeover of America by a power-hungry vampire conspiracy. And now it's been brought to life with the genre style and gratuitous horror effects fans would hope for. The mashup worked in literary form. Now the bigger question is whether the cinematic mashup can appeal to the core constituencies. Is there any way that a vampire spoof like this can work as both horror film and comedy, not to mention can it succeed as a summer blockbuster? The jury's still out, but this is a promising first glimpse of the Civil War as a vampire apocalypse. I read the book and loved it, absolutely loved it, and have been highly anticipating the release of this film. It's scheduled for a June 22nd release, and as far as the trailers go, this one looks awesome. Check it out and read the book before you go to see the film, because it's well worth a read. Moving on, Smallville fans can rejoice. Season 11 is coming in the form of a comic book. Much like similar WB franchises, Buffy and Angel, and Joss Whedon's short-lived but much-loved Fox series Firefly, Smallville will get the comic book treatment to continue the story of this beloved show. Written by former Smallville show scribe Brian Q. Miller, the new digital first series will be published digitally on April 13th, with new digital chapters released weekly thereafter. These online chapters will be offered in a print periodical along with an episode guide for the hit TV series, with the first print issue released on May 16th. Described as 6 months after Clark Kent donned the cape and took to the skies to save Earth from apocalypse, we enter Season 11. New allies abound, new enemies afoot, and old friends return where they're least expected. Artist Pierre Perez and colorist Chris Beckett have done a fantastic job of capturing the look of the show and the cast of this iconic television show. And the artwork from what will be the initial cover looks great and really does look like Tom. Seriously, I can't wait for this all-access pass to Clark's first year in the Cape. Look for Across the Airwaves to do a complete review of these releases on our sister podcast, Across the Airwaves Smallville Retro Reviews, when they're released in April. I know Dan and I both can't wait. Amy Acker will be guest starring on both fairy tale shows, Grimm and Once Upon a Time, this month. My Geek Crush Amy Acker starred in Grimm last Friday night and will be appearing on Once Upon a Time in a few weeks. She played a life-sucking Black Widow character on Grimm, and she'll be Grumpy's main squeeze on the upcoming Once Upon a Time episode later this month. While I wholeheartedly believe that Amy would have been a better Belle than the woman that they did cast in Sunday's episode, I'm just happy to see her on two of my favorite new shows. Also, in a recent interview, she shares her observations about the differences between the two fantasy realms. A link to that interview is in the description below. Now let's move into the rapid fire with a series of headlines, quick and dirty, with very little commentary.
Rapid fire.
Chuck may be returning to TV in the fall. Well, Zach Levi anyway. The in-demand Chuck headliner has landed the male lead in Fox's half-hour single-camera comedy, Let It Go. The ensemble comedy revolves around a married couple as they try to navigate, negotiate, and sometimes manipulate society's unspoken rules. Casting for Levi's on-screen significant other continues. Now I've got a suggestion. How about Yvonne freaking Stravosky? How great would that be to link those two together? Look out, Emmy hopefuls. Tony Shalhoub is coming back to steal all your awards. Shalhoub, who was a routine nominee for his work on Monk, will star in the NBC pilot Friday Night Dinner. The single-camera comedy centers around a couple that hosts a family dinner every Friday night. Allison Janney will play Shalhoub's wife. James Purefoy lands killer role in Kevin Bacon pilot. On a previous episode, you may remember me telling you that Kevin Bacon had been cast in Fox's new serial killer pilot. British actor James Purefoy has been cast as the villain to play opposite Bacon in Kevin Williamson's new Fox pilot. The casting of Purefoy seems a great choice to go toe-to-toe with Bacon and gives this show a great chance of being picked up to series for next fall. Did you hear about Oprah Winfrey? The queen of all media hopped on Twitter just as the Grammys were getting underway on Sunday and tweeted, quote, "Everyone who can, please turn on OWN, especially if you have a Nielsen box." Pandering to Nielsen families is a big no-no, and she may face disciplinary action from Nielsen, despite the fact that she is considered untouchable. She later apologized for the tweet. In our final news story, Whitney Houston died Saturday in the Beverly Hilton Hotel from a suspected drug and alcohol overdose, though the medical examiner has not released an official cause of death yet. Houston's TV and film credits include The Bodyguard, Waiting to Exhale, The Preacher's Wife, and the Emmy Award-winning 1997 TV movie Cinderella, in which she played the fairy godmother. As is the case whenever a celebrity dies, the internet is flooded with people claiming to be huge fans after the fact. I will not be one of those people, but I do hope that she found some sort of peace before the end. And on that somber note, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks everybody for watching. Your question of the day is, what are you more excited by? The release of Smallville Season 11 in a comic book form, or the trailer for Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter? Leave me a comment, tell me what you think. Don't forget to subscribe up above and clickety-clack that like button. And that's the news with Nico for this week.
We now return to our regularly scheduled program.
Who's a good girl?